Ferrari just took the biggest technical risk of a new era, and Bahrain may have revealed why. They didn't tweak the engine. They didn't change the floor. They completely abandoned their front suspension philosophy. After years of sticking with pull rod, Ferrari ripped it out and replaced it with an aggressive push rod system that insiders are calling their boldest move in a decade. And here's the shocking part. Telemetry from Bahrain shows the SF26 braking meters later than last year's car, staying flatter under heavy load, dominating Sector 2 in high-speed corners. This isn't a small upgrade. It's a mechanical revolution. But revolutions come with risk, because while the car looks sharper, faster, and more reactive over one lap, long-run data hints at increased tire stress and front-locking instability. So the real question is this. Did Ferrari just unlock a championship-level innovation? Or did they build a car that's brilliant on Saturday and fragile on Sunday? Stay with me, because what this new front suspension is really doing under braking might completely change the fight at the front. The decision to abandon pull rod was not cosmetic. It was strategic. For several seasons, Ferrari defended the pull rod concept at the front. Lower center of gravity, cleaner airflow to the floor, a stable, predictable platform. But there was a trade-off. Turn in response. With the previous car, drivers often had to wait for the nose to settle before committing to the apex. That hesitation might look small on television. Inside the cockpit, it feels enormous. And in qualifying, that delay costs tenths. So for the SF26, Ferrari reset the philosophy. They switched to a pushrod front suspension. Now, on paper, that sounds like a simple mechanical reconfiguration. In reality, it changes how forces travel through the chassis. Pushrod layouts typically provide clearer feedback through the steering, more direct load transfer, sharper initial response, and in Bahrain, that sharpness was obvious. Charles Leclerc reportedly described the new front end as far more reactive. You turn, the car goes. No waiting, no hesitation. But here is where the update becomes truly aggressive. Ferrari did not just adopt push rod. They engineered extreme anti-dive geometry. That means under heavy braking, the nose barely compresses. It stays almost flat. And that flat platform keeps aerodynamic balance stable. Because in this generation of cars, ride height variation can destroy floor performance. If the nose dips too much, the airflow under the chassis destabilizes. Downforce drops. Rear grip disappears. With this new anti-dive configuration, Ferrari protects the platform under braking. And that changes braking confidence entirely. Onboard footage from Bahrain shows the SF26 remaining remarkably level into Turn 1 and Turn 14. That stability allows later braking, more aggressive entries, and potentially stronger qualifying performance. But there is another layer. Telemetry from day 3 revealed something fascinating. In high-speed corners, the suspension appears to compress in a very controlled way, almost like a passive active system, lowering the car slightly at speed, reducing drag, maximizing efficiency. And in Sector 2, Ferrari looked extremely competitive. That combination, stable under braking and efficient at speed, is powerful. But nothing in Formula 1 comes without compromise. Because anti-dive reduces weight transfer to the front tires under braking. Less forward load means the front wheels can lock more easily. Hamilton reportedly felt that immediately. The platform is stable, but the window is narrow, and a narrow window demands precision. Then there is tire wear. A stiffer front end transfers load more abruptly into the rubber. Surface temperatures rise faster. Front degradation becomes a real concern over long runs. That is why Ferrari's single-lap pace looked explosive, but long stints raise questions. So this is not just an upgrade. It is a character change. The SF26 is sharper, more aggressive, more alive at the front. For Leclerc, that could be perfect. For Hamilton, it is powerful but demanding. And this is only the beginning, because beneath that visible suspension geometry, there may be an even more interesting detail hiding under the nose. One that could explain why Ferrari seems so confident in this radical shift. Now we arrive at the part Ferrari did not highlight in the press release. The hidden layer beneath the visible geometry. Because suspension is not only about arms and rods. It is about platform control. And rumors in Bahrain suggest Ferrari has introduced a highly compact hydraulic third element under the nose. If that is true, it explains everything. The third element controls pitch, the forward and backward rotation of the chassis under braking and acceleration. With extreme anti-dive geometry already limiting front compression, this hydraulic system fine-tunes how the car maintains ride height. And ride height in this era is everything. Too high and you lose downforce. Too low and you stall airflow. Too unstable and the diffuser becomes unpredictable. What Ferrari appears to have achieved is precision. The car stays flat under heavy braking. It lowers slightly in high-speed corners. It maintains aerodynamic consistency across phases. That consistency creates driver confidence, and confidence creates lap time. But here is the fascinating twist. By stabilizing the platform so aggressively, Ferrari may have created a car that is incredibly sensitive to setup. Because when your geometry is extreme, small changes produce big reactions. That is why spy photographers reported Ferrari testing different push rod mounting points during the session. A modular suspension concept, quick adjustment capability, rapid mechanical tuning between runs. That operational flexibility is a weapon during a long season. While some teams are locked into fixed suspension points, Ferrari can experiment in minutes. Find the sweet spot between aerodynamic support and mechanical grip. And that sweet spot is the difference between pole position and fourth place. But here is the bigger picture. Ferrari did not just change hardware. They changed the car's personality. The SF26 is no longer the noble, forgiving machine of last season. It is sharper, more aggressive, more precise. It rewards commitment and punishes hesitation. That is perfect for qualifying. In Bahrain, the car looked extremely stable into heavy braking zones like Turn 1 and Turn 14. Later braking means overtaking threat, and defending becomes easier when your platform is predictable. But Sunday is a different challenge, because that stiffness increases front tire load. More temperature, more surface stress. Long runs already hinted at higher degradation compared to last year's softer setup. So Ferrari may have unlocked Saturday performance, but they still need to manage Sunday endurance. And this is where the championship question emerges. If Ferrari can fine-tune damping and mechanical compliance without losing platform control, they may have the most complete front end on the grid. If they fail to control tire wear, rivals like McLaren, known for smoother degradation, will capitalize. And there is another subtle detail. By switching to push rod at the front, Ferrari now aligns more closely with Mercedes in mechanical concept, but with aerodynamic aggression closer to Red Bull. It is a hybrid philosophy. Stability meets sharpness. And that combination is dangerous. Fred Vasseur admitted this decision was taken months ago, accepting the risk of abandoning a proven concept. That tells you confidence levels internally were high. You do not scrap a suspension philosophy unless the simulations promise a higher ceiling. Bahrain suggests that ceiling is real. The car rotates faster. It brakes later. It looks planted. But Formula One always punishes imbalance. And the next phase will reveal whether Ferrari found the perfect compromise. Because in this sport, innovation wins championships, but only when it survives the full distance. The SF26 has exposed something shocking in Bahrain. Ferrari is no longer playing safe. They are pushing mechanical boundaries again. And if this suspension revolution holds together under race pressure, the fight at the front just became very serious. But here is where this story becomes even more strategic. Because suspension is not just about performance, it is about direction. When Ferrari decided to abandon pull rod at the front, they did more than redesign geometry. They aligned the entire car around a new philosophy of platform dominance. In the 2026 regulation cycle, aerodynamic stability, under braking, and high-speed load is everything. Ground effect tunnels are reduced. The floor is more sensitive. The margins are smaller. So instead of chasing maximum peak downforce, Ferrari appears to be chasing consistency of downforce. That is a different objective, and it changes how the car behaves across a lap. With extreme anti-dive geometry keeping the nose flat, the floor sees a stable airflow window. Stable airflow means predictable rear balance. Predictable rear balance means drivers can commit earlier on corner entry. That commitment builds rhythm, and rhythm builds lap time. But here is the psychological layer. When a driver feels the front respond instantly, confidence rises. Leclerc thrives on a sharp front end. He likes a car that rotates aggressively, one that reacts immediately to steering input. This SF26 seems built around that philosophy. For Hamilton, the adaptation curve may be steeper. He prefers feedback and stability, but not excessive harshness. Reports from Bahrain indicate he appreciates the stable platform, yet feels the rigidity in slow corners when tire temperature drops. That difference in preference could influence internal setup direction, and setup direction influences development. If Ferrari tunes the car around Leclerc's instinctive style, Hamilton may need time. If they soften it for tire management, they risk losing that razor-sharp qualifying edge. And qualifying in modern Formula One defines race outcomes. But let's zoom out. Ferrari's braking advantage in Bahrain's heavy stop zones was visible. Later braking means overtaking opportunity, defensive strength, pole position potential, and in a regulation cycle where overtaking remains difficult in turbulent air, starting position matters more than ever. So Ferrari may have prioritized Saturday dominance. Now the critical question: can they protect the front tires over race distance? Because early long-run data suggested higher front degradation compared to the softer, more compliant SF25. That is the knife edge. Too stiff and you destroy the rubber. Too soft and you lose aerodynamic precision. Finding that balance will define whether this suspension revolution becomes a championship tool or a technical curiosity. And then there is the operational advantage. The modular push rod mounting system allows rapid changes in geometry. That flexibility means Ferrari can adapt to temperature swings, track evolution, and tire compound differences faster than some rivals. Over a long season, that adaptability compounds. Small gains accumulate. But here is the final twist building quietly beneath everything. If Ferrari has mastered platform control with this new third element and anti-dive geometry, rivals will be forced to respond. Suspension concepts are not easily copied mid-season. Packaging constraints limit replication. So Ferrari may have created a development gap that lasts months. And months in Formula One can decide championships. Bahrain testing did not just reveal a faster Ferrari. It revealed a braver Ferrari. A team willing to abandon tradition. Willing to take mechanical risks. Willing to chase a higher ceiling instead of safe evolution. The SF26 is sharper.